Hi everyone, I wanted to put out a quick video about the Fight for Pyro missions. And the ones I'm going to be talking about are the missions that are specifically about siding with the Citizens for Prosperity faction. You still have until 4.0.2 comes out before this event's over, and we have no idea how long that's going to end up being, so you still have some time left. And I completed all the Phase 1 and 2 missions in one night, so it is possible to get all of them completed in a day or two if you don't mind doing some grinding. And all the Fight for Pyro missions are able to be done by a solo player. The event is broken down into 2 phases, and you'll have to finish 6 missions for each phase, and it doesn't matter which ones you choose, everything that's listed under the priority tab will count towards your overall progress. One thing that was throwing a few people off is that you're going to have to be in Pyro before these missions will appear in your Moby Glass. The reward for completing Fight for Pyro is a Ripper SMG, and in my opinion, it's worth getting even if you skip doing the Save Stand event. The Ripper's a beam weapon, and once you finish Stage 2, it'll be instantly and permanently added to your list of hanger items. And on top of that, you'll get an additional reward if you've also completed the Save Stanton missions. The reward is a unique set of skins for the Carrack, the Pisces, the Cutter, and the Zeus. And yes, these skins can also be equipped on any variant for those ships. At the start of this event, you'll be forced to pick one of 3 factions to work with, and each faction will have their own unique version of those skins. The Citizen for Prosperity has a black and red paint scheme, the Headhunter faction gives you a purple and black paint job, and the Frontier Fighters have a camo-themed livery. And the only caveat to this is that you can only choose one faction to work with, and once you've completed a mission for them, you're going to be locked into that decision for the rest of the event. So I'm going to walk you through the mission strings that you'll find in the Phase 1 and 2 for the Citizens of Prosperity. For Phase 1, the CFP missions consist of doing supply runs that go from the Stanton Gateway to either an outpost or a space station. And these missions only require you to move small amounts of cargo that are usually anywhere from around 3 to 6 SCUs, so you can even use a starter ship to do most of these missions. And I found that if you're flying a ship that doesn't have much offensive capabilities, then wait for one of the missions to pop up that has you delivering your stuff to a refueling station, fuel and supply depot, or a service station. Those missions are a lot safer to do and will take you directly from one hangar to another. And that way you don't have to worry about dealing with the usual murder hobo issues that plague a lot of the other missions. Also, I'd avoid doing any runs that take you to Ruin Station or Shepherd's Rest because those are notorious for being PvP hotspots. The best mission to look out for is the one that takes you to the Madumi refueling station. It's the closest one to the Stanton Gateway, and it's another space station, so it has a hangar that you can land in. Plus it's a low traffic area, so make sure to keep an eye out for that one. But if you find that going from one hangar to another isn't enough excitement for you, then you could always try your hand at doing the missions that have you running supplies to a series of outposts. The main difference between it and the other missions is that you're going to be exposed the entire time that you're doing it. And remember, this is a lawless system that has no crime stats and no prisons. So if you see anyone, there's a good chance that they're going to be attacking you. The first outpost I went to had a player hovering overhead who was patrolling the area and shot at anyone who tried to approach the landing zone, so I had to fight my way through that. And to help further set the tone, after I landed, I found myself surrounded by a series of ships that were either abandoned or completely destroyed. Needless to say, my butt was clenched the entire time that I was there. Now, this mission is a lot more risky to do, but it's also a lot more fun. And what you're going to have to do is drop your cargo off in an open lift. And it's usually easy to spot because it'll always be surrounded by a bunch of other ships. And the main goal is to get in there, drop your stuff off, and get out before anyone else arrives. I encountered a surprising amount of campers while I was doing this mission, so the best advice I could give you is to make sure to not bring any gear that you really care about. For Phase 2, they give you a choice to either go defend a Star Runner or kill all the soldiers that have taken over a remote outpost. The Defend CFP server ship plays out just like any other defense mission would. The place that you're going to want to get to is always going to be located on the far end of the solar system from where you are when you accept it, and when you arrive you'll be defending a Star Runner from a bunch of smaller ships. Whatever you're flying should have a good-sized fuel tank and have a decent weapons loadout. That makes this mission perfect for using something like a Vanguard or some other type of heavy fighter. And my personal favorite ship to use for this was the Lightning. If you're having trouble, the secret to completing it is to try and keep aggroing the ships that are firing on the Star Runner so that they stop and focus on you instead. And then try to stay as close to the target as you can. If a ship that you're focusing down ends up straying too far away from it, just let it go and return to the Star Runner. The one upside to these missions was that I never had to worry about other players or campers while I was doing it. The other mission that you can do is called Retake PYRO Outpost. This one is mainly FPS combat focused. The mission marker will send you to a location that's planet-side and once again tends to be very far away from wherever you are when you accept it. Once you arrive, there'll be a bunch of enemies patrolling outside and inside of a structure. Sometimes there'll be friendlies outside and sometimes there isn't. If you want to take the easy route, you can snipe most of them using your ship's weapons, but there's still going to be a handful of enemies that are waiting for you inside. Now, I thought that this mission was a lot of fun to do, and mainly that was because it was on a planet-side location, it was in a new building type, and I tend to like doing FPS combat missions. Now, any ship that has enough gas to get you to your destination is going to be perfectly fine to use for this mission, and you should bring a gun, an extra med pen, and at least a couple of extra mags. And as soon as you finish completing the 6th mission for Phase 2, you'll be given a prompting that'll appear on screen, and it'll instantly attribute the reward items to your hangar that you'll be able to see on the RSI website. Well, that's going to be everything about the CFP mission string. I've been your host, Law of the West. Thanks for watching, and take care.